He's talking about put this bottle in my pussy. I got it, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude! All right, can we talking about this?
Dude, Mike's making me laugh. I've never seen him laugh so hard in my life.
I'm trying so hard.
He's turning red.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh, but I can't help it, dude.
Poop dollar. It's about poop dollars on the football podcast.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Okay. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Well, we're just a couple of average bros with above average fantasy football knowledge. As always, it's your boy T.
It's Anthony, filled with Estania Vineyards Pinot Noir in this episode.
Yeah, you're filled up. Brought to you by Red Bull. Michael Marcanio out here turning the knobs and eating corn on the cob.
Dude, I love that. We get sponsored by Estancia Vineyards, low key.
Nah, dude, fuck that.
Bro, dude, no one even knows who Estancia is.
Oh, Estancia, yeah.
Estancia sounds kind of sexy.
It does, yeah.
Hey, what's your girlfriend's name? Estancia. Ooh.
That sounds like you're dating a dude.
Whatever.
Estancia sounds like a guy.
Whatever. Estancia sounds hot. Either way.
Either way, you know what? We're on episode 51.
Yeah. You know what sounds hot too?
Bro, episode 50.
Wait, are you recording on Audacity?
Yes.
All right. You know what else sounds hot? OBJ traded to the Browns. You like that?
Oh, that is hot. What a transition.
You like that transition
Ooh,
right there? Fuck, we're making fucking
Transition.
adjustments here, boys.
Oh, we're talking about.
We're stepping our game up. You give me some fucking Estancia, we transfer into fucking transitions into OBJ.
You transfer into the wrong words.
Yeah.
All right.
So OBJ traded to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns went 0-16 a couple years, and now a lot of people are thinking that they could go to the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
Now they're basically the Avengers, right?
Yeah, that meme was funny. It's like when you go 0-16, then they fire you, and your team becomes the fucking Avengers.
Truly, though, it's pretty fucked that.
Yeah.
I mean, not fucked. That coach kind of sucks, but.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It's just crazy because the GM for the Giants was like, they're talking about trading him, and he's like, we didn't re-sign him to this mega deal to trade him, and then 2 days later they trade him. But OBJ to the Browns, reunited with his college teammate Jarvis Landry, could be the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. What do you guys think? It's the best wide receiver duo now in the NFL? I personally think it's the best.
The best one-two punch.
Yeah, I mean, who else is there?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think about.
Jones and Sanu, or like what?
Well, Ridley's still sophomore, so we could see there. That's what I was. That's actually the first one I was thinking of.
You literally just think of good wide receivers, and then like who's their Robin to their Batman.
Yeah.
But it's like they're both good, and then like now they're like best friends. So it's like
Hopkins
Hopkins
and Fuller could be a pretty nasty one if you get a full season of Fuller.
Yeah.
But
if you get a fuller season,
it's got to be at least top 3, if not top 1. Like
I think it's the best 1-2 combo. And like I said, they have the connection.
I would have taken AB and Juju over that. Would have.
AB and Juju was probably
Would have.
Yeah.
Keyword would have.
Would have. But so what do you think about OBJ's value now in Cleveland? Wait, what'd you say his ADP was?
It's high. I think any team where he's getting the ball not from Eli Manning raises his value. So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, you know what I mean.
Not from Michael Phelps.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. I feel like I say that all the time. I don't know, but I really do know. No, he's better.
Do you?
He's got a better value. I would be more willing to take him earlier round to now that he's got Shaker Baker going.
Shaker Baker. Well, here's my thing: it's targets and then quality of targets. That's what I'm trying to look at. I'm pulling up his targets right now as we speak. In a full season back in 2016 with Eli, he had 170 targets. That's when he was, a top 5 or top 6 receiver. 2015, 158 targets. So, kind of as we touched up this, I'm going to pull up some more Eli Manning numbers back in 2016 and 2015. It's just the target volume. It's still an unknown. You don't know the chemistry. You don't know how the offense is going to run per se. It seemed last year, once Freddie Kitchens took over, the ball was spread around. It didn't seem like it was like hyper targeted one person. Now you have 2. We're Dolphins fans. We know Landry. Landry can be a diva. Odell's a diva. They're going to command high targets, or they're going to want it. So I don't think the offense, though, is just going to say – I don't think Kitchens, if he wants to win games, is going to say, hey, it's Odell and Landry and no one else. I think you still got to consider that, they're going to get the tight ends involved in Njoku. They're going to get the backs involved. They have 3 backs potentially in Kareem Hunt and
I don't think that's going to be – I think they're going to figure something out there.
But the thing is, the quarterback can only drop back and throw the ball so many times in a game, even in a top 5 scoring offense, if they are that good. Because on paper, they could be. But we don't know if it's going to translate.
Right.
Let's just say they're the number 12 scoring offense. You're not going to get everyone to score amount of points and put up the points if they're not a top 5 offense. For OBJ to kind of do what he did this is my personal opinion, in what he did in New York when he was in the prime targets fully 16 games, I think you're going to need a top 5 offense. So if you believe this is going to be a top 5 offense, I think it's doable for him to be, a top 5 receiver. But if it falters, I think you could be a little upset with. I think he'll still be good, but I think you might not. I don't know. What's your guys' feel on it?
I like it. I like Baker. I think he had a crazy good rookie year. I think he broke the rookie record for most passing touchdowns, right? He didn't even play the full season. I was looking at some numbers. They were saying that since when Freddie Kitchens took over in Week 9 last year, Baker had like the second highest yards per attempt. He had the 10th best passing completion. And he had like the most deep completions per game at 5 deep completions a game in the NFL. He threw the second most deep attempts as well. So you had a guy like OBJ. I remember I had Landry in the beginning of the year in one league, and he was getting a ton of targets. He was seeing like 16, 18 targets a game, and it's just like crazy. And then all of a sudden, Kitchens came in. He didn't get as many targets, but then Callaway was getting 10 targets a game. It seemed like, and he wasn't catching the ball. There's just no chemistry there. So I think if Callaway can get 10 targets a game, then I don't see why OBJ couldn't get 10 targets a game. And I like it, man, because like you said, there's just so much potential for this offense where you got Landry and then you got Njoku and then you got the backs, like you said, coming out. It's like you can't. I mean, they could hit you from every kind of angle, and I do think there'll be some games where it'll be a Landry game, and then there'll be some games where it'll be an Odell game. But I still think Odell has some good things. I mean, like you always say, it's third and down syndrome for Eli Manning. His completion percentage was terrible, and it's I remember watching a Monday night game one time, and he just missed Odell so many times, and it's bro, how do you miss that pass? He's wide open,
Yeah, and especially with someone who has the range that Odell does.
Yeah.
For you to not be able to complete a pass to one of the best receivers in the league, you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You just get anybody a little bit better, and he'll be in a better spot.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love Odell.
So I'm I like him, but I'm kind of playing. I'm for argument's sake, I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. You just said that there's going to be Landry games. With your first round pick, I've started making those graphs of up and down, up and down, up and down. You look at Devontae Adams, you look at some of these other first round receivers, you don't see those low points with them.
Yeah.
If you're going to take him in the first round, you don't want to see those low points. So you just pointed out to the fact that you're going to have Landry games or maybe Njoku games or a mixture of both. If I want my first round, if I'm taking a receiver in the first round, I don't want him having low points. I don't want him having Landry games. And then it didn't even dawn on me until you just said that right now. But thinking about it in depth, if I'm going to take Odell in the first, I don't want him having down games. I don't want Landry getting 15 targets in a game and him getting 3. And it's him moving to a new offense too. So if I told you, just hypothetical, if Baker's going to throw for 4,432 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions, would you say that's probably realistically?
Yeah, that's his projections.
That's realistic numbers.
That's his projections.
No, I'm throwing these numbers out.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was Eli Manning in 2015, and that's when he was the only receiver there. That's when there was no Barkley, no Ingram, no Shepard. I just don't. With the amount of mouths to feed, unless it's a top 5 offense, I think you're going to be disappointed with OBJ. This is just where I'm trying to get at with this.
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I still think he's a great talent, but I'm playing the negative side of this kind of argument.
No, yeah, I hear you. That's it's good valid points right there. I didn't even think about it like that. I'm not taking him above Julio Jones or DeAndre Hopkins or even a Devontae Adams, like we said right there. I think you said he was going the start of the second round, so maybe in that area. I think what I'm saying is I like it. I think it's a good move here. I think he gets an upgraded quarterback, and I think he's still gonna do really good.
I think that his value is going to go up even more, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I feel like where did you say he's at right now? The second round.
The 201. But that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like, yeah,
He's
his value's
been
going up, but would you take him where his value's gonna go?
No, I don't know.
And that's what we gotta like portray for our listeners in a sense. You know, like, they're listening to us to draft. You know, would you take DeAndre Hopkins or Odell?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Okay, same here. Would you take DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams?
Well, yeah,
Odell or Devontae?
Well, yeah, I just said if I'd probably put just off the top of my head like Julio, Devontae Adams, and
Michael Thomas or Odell.
I'd probably go.
Would you go AB or Odell?
I'd go Odell over AB. I don't trust Derek Carr.
I go AB. I go Ab.
Sid from Toy Story.
Sid from Toy Story for sure.
I'm just trying to like because we're looking at ADP. It's super early, so it is hard to like gauge like accurately. You know, but if you see 150 targets from Landry and 150 targets from Odell, that's a lot to see the two receivers. You rarely see that. I think Minnesota might have been close to that last year. I'm gonna look, and that's probably the only. You got Pittsburgh too, possibly. So you'd have to look at like a full-fledged like Juju and AB situation, or like Stephon Diggs and Thielen, which is doable for sure target-wise, but. I don't know. I think there's more uncertainty if I'm going to take him in the first or second round cusp.
Yeah.
There's like question marks. I don't like question marks anymore in my first 3 rounds. I like taking certainties, and there's kind of like because I've noticed I've been burned by taking question mark areas in those first couple of rounds. It's like get your certainties, get your players that are for sure. Like I know for sure Michael Thomas is going to see 150 targets. I know for sure he's going to be the one. I'm not guaranteed that OBJ is going to be the number one every week in and week out. And that's where I want the for sure. And when it comes to that point, the price I'm going to pay.
Yeah. We'll just have to touch on it more when draft season comes close, but crazy trade for sure.
Yeah.
Jumping to the next subject here. So the Le'Veon Bell saga is finally over. He signs with the New York Jets.
Like an idiot. Lost what? $20 million, not even counting how much money he lost last season.
Yeah.
What was his contract again?
I think he got offered. I don't know. I don't remember what the terms were.
It was like 40 something in Pittsburgh. I remember, right?
It was the Steelers offered him a 5-year, $70 million extension, $33 million guaranteed. He turned it down, and then he sat out the next year, which was like another 14 something million guaranteed or whatever.
16.
And then he signed for a 4-year, $52.5 million contract, 35 guaranteed. So he made $2 million more guaranteed, but I think I saw sadly like over the course of like 3 years he's gonna lose $20 million worth of money if he would have just signed with the Steelers.
Yeah,
and he's going from like I know the Steelers are losing players, but like the Steelers or the Jets. I mean, the Steelers obviously are always in the mix every year. The Jets are the Jets.
He's going from a top-rated offensive line to. Do you want to know who was dead last in adjusted line yards last year?
The Jets.
The Jets.
It's like, I mean,
he's going to the worst offensive line. I don't know. What's your guys' feeling on this? First, let you guys speak on Le'Veon Bell first, because.
What do you think? You're the Steeler fan here, so you know more probably about Le'Veon Bell than anyone. What do you think, Mike?
I think he's a little silly for doing what he did. I think that whoever his agent is, who told him to do this, is an idiot.
Should get bodied.
They should get fired. I think that. I mean, like he said, he just lost him $20-something million. I think he was trying to make a statement, but I think if anything, he shouldn't. I feel like he kind of pussied out and didn't. If anything, I feel like it sounds crazy, but like he should have even done more of a statement and tried to just like stick it out even longer, or like. We'll sit out another season, but like for him to do that, you just are like, oh yeah, well I'll show them, and then you're like, oh okay, wait, I need the money.
Yeah.
Where's this?
Like, oh never mind, sorry.
Yeah, like so. I just
Fortnite's not paying as much as I thought.
Sure, I think he just kind of screwed up there, man. But I mean, I hope he does well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be able to watch him play, even though he's playing on one of the worst line-rated offensive lines in the league. Like it's gonna be interesting to see if he can actually, put up the same numbers.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
I mean, the Jets, they did make a couple moves. They traded, I think, for a guard from the Raiders. He was like one of like the best guards in the league. Like it was like an All-Pro or Pro Bowl guard a couple years ago. They signed another offensive lineman, so they're trying to boost that offensive line. It's just funny. There was a tweet that like when he was a free agent, someone tweeted him. I don't know who it was, but they were like, "Hey, Le'Veon, we'll give you $60 million cash to come play for the Jets." And he's like,
"I need more than
that."
He's like,
"You have to pay me more to come play for the Jets."
And then he signed for 52.
52.
So crazy. Dude. Yeah.
What they did. So fantasy wise, you touching him or you think he got paid? He's gonna Jamarcus Russell it, kind of just like chill, or you think he's actually gonna go out there?
Do you want my honest estancia opinion?
Yeah, give me your estancia on it.
4th to 5th round,
Yeah,
where I would take him.
where you would take
Where
him.
where I
And
would
that's
where
not
I
where
think
he's going to be.
he's not going to be there.
He'll probably go in the second round, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, here's the thing: it's like there's a couple things. We haven't seen him play outside of the Pittsburgh system.
Yeah,
And there's been so many running backs that have been productive in the Pittsburgh system.
Yeah,
I mean, even
random dudes, DeAndre
random,
Williams.
just Fitzgerald Toussaint, Jalen Samuels
Yeah.
last year in the couple weeks he played. D'Angelo Williams actually on a points per game basis was better than Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
And look what D'Angelo Williams did in Carolina when that team kind of went to shit.
Well, that's
There's-
why it drives me nuts. It actually drives me nuts when people say that, like talking crap on Le'Veon. But then, yeah, I don't know. Continue. Sorry, I totally sidetracked.
About D'Angelo or about?
About Le'Veon Bell, because they said the same thing with what's his name, John Connor or
James Conner,
James Conner,
John Connor.
Oh, they're saying like he's replaceable too.
John Connor.
Isn't that the?
That's from the
the
Terminator.
Terminator.
I was thinking of that with Disney movie.
Sarah Connor and his kid, her son's name is John.
Isn't there a
Connor.
movie too like John Cutter or Jared Carter or John Cutter?
Sid from Toy Story?
No, there's a Disney movie like John Carter too, right?
I don't know. I think Toy Story is by DreamWorks, not Disney.
Whatever.
it's by Disney.
Toy Story is?
Yeah,
Is it really?
yeah,
No, I think it's Pixar, dude.
yeah. But Pixar is
Disney.
like teamed up with them or whatever,
Yeah.
or is part of Disney or
The
whatever.
Little Lambs.
Where are you drafting Toy Story this year?
For
Hey,
me-
just like that, Mike fucking derailed the
Mike-
podcast
Alright.
once again.
I am not.
For me, you know me, I'm always big on like for Le'Veon Bell. I'm always big on like if you go out and you get a guy, you pay him some money, like you're gonna use him. Like he's pretty much the whole offense. I mean, they have Robbie Anderson. They got a new one who's
they
like
do
hit or
have
miss.
dumbass Adam Gase though.
They do have dumbass Adam Gase who doesn't know how to get him, but he is an offensive coach, and I mean, we preach about volume so much on the show, like he's gonna get volume and that just opportunity to score. I think Le'Veon Bell. I know that 2 years ago he had like 400 some touches or whatever. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see him get like 350, 400 touches again. So it's like, yeah, he's on a bad team. Does he care? Who knows? But I mean, I think the opportunity for sure is going to be there. I mean, they just paid him a ton of money. Personally, like if it's the second round, there's going to be other players I would personally feel like you just said. There's other players who I'd rather be safer with to get. But I don't think like if you draft him, he's going to be a complete bust. Like where you're like, oh man, like he whiffed.
Here's where I'm with you where you're speaking. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate on some of this. I'm with you where you're speaking about. Yeah, we could see him do 350 touches. Do you think his body's going to withstand though if he goes to the 350 to 400 after not playing for almost 2 years by this time he steps back into the league?
I mean, it could work either way. Like maybe his body has rested and he's like fresh, but I mean, he has been partying a lot, so maybe he's sluggish.
And he has been injury prone in the past.
He has been
We've
injury
had
prone in
2
the
knee
past.
injuries.
So we'll see how
groin
that.
injury.
Yeah, we'll see
I
how
mean,
that works out.
He had an injury in college too, right?
Who is like he being drafted around? And I know it's probably going to change,
Yeah.
but I mean, I was just like
that's
looking at,
that's my thing is it's not so much the volume and the workload. It's more of does he even give a fuck about football? Is he gonna hold up for fucking 350 touches? If he's getting that workload, I just don't think he is.
There's a lot of question marks with him. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
I said
like,
he's going at what's trying to
like I said, I think he gets the volume, but for people he's being drafted around, like I'm sure he's probably around people like Dalvin
he's the
Cook.
109 right now.
Oh, I would
Yeah,
not.
no,
No,
it's
definitely
way-
not.
Would you guys even
Stay
touch him in
away.
the second round?
Probably not. If he falls to me in the third round, then I contemplate it, depending on my roster construction. If I go running back,
that's true.
then I'm
Well, if
obviously
I
not
want
going to
a
give
receiver, I'd be like, all right, at
Then you
least
could,
I'm
yeah.
guaranteed a workload right here.
Yeah. But I mean, like I'm thinking, like I'm taking guys over just off the top of my head, like Dalvin Cook, Chubb, like I'm taking those guys over him. Just
David Johnson.
David Johnson,
Dude,
maybe.
it's so funny
Trying to-
listening to you year to year because
Well, it changes. It's not just him. It's everyone.
Well, yeah, but it's just funny because like there's guys that Tyler's like, dude, fuck that guy. I am not touching that guy. And then like this year, like Dalvin Cook last year, you were like,
You gotta be
I
open. You
love
gotta be
Dalvin
open to
Cook
making
this year,
adjustments,
dude.
bro. It's
I
year
love
to
Dalvin Cook
year.
this year.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just
I
like
get
funny
you,
to
though.
hear because I do remember being like in this room talking about it last year, and you're like, I am not touching Dalvin.
But I feel like I nailed that one. Like there's we like we always talk about like you got these experts, right? And they claim to be so smart, and that's why we say we're just average, just like you guys. And it's like at the end of the game, it's just a guessing game. You know, it's your opinion of what you think the player's going to do. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. But I feel like we nailed a lot of things good this year, and I feel like that was one of the ones we nailed. Like there's a lot of question marks around him. His ACL, like they have Latavius Murray, he's going to vulture goal line carries. And I feel like you hit the nail on the head in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Me and you had a combination that like perfected like what it was. Like
like
I touched on the upside, and like I was like, we both agreed that Murray was gonna have a role, and then there was the injury and all that. And I touched on the upside, and we saw the upside late in the
towards
season.
the end of the year, yeah.
But like you brought up, you turned me on to the whole Latavius Murray's gonna have a role, and then I looked into it, and I was like, he is gonna have a role. And then we kind of both like combined our like statistics and whatever and data, and we like came up with a very like above average opinion on that.
Yeah. Wow, I like what you did there. Very good.
But so yeah, the Le'Veon Bell thing. We'll see what's up with him. He got paid, I guess.
So for right now, in your guys' opinion, you're seeing him as a 3rd round pick.
Maybe like you always say, like you're the one who kind of opened my eyes to the point of like where there's the ADP range of like, oh, he's going in the 1st round, 2nd round, but then like what kind of grade would you give him? What round grade would you give him?
So
like he would be lower than like a 1st or 2nd round.
Like where would you put him? Like would you put him?
So what would be like your ceiling floor grade?
Would you put him as like is he gonna be a top 10 running back?
My grade on him right now would be mid to late 2nd to probably the cusp of the 3rd, 4th turn.
Is he a top 25 pick?
Right. That's what I mean. That's basically what you're saying with the rounds, though. I mean,
if you believe in,
I think he's at least still a top 25 pick.
Yeah, he's in that rate. His upside is there.
Yeah,
his upside's there for sure. So yeah, so to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
Where I would personally take him,
it's just the question marks.
Yeah.
It's not the talent. It's not the
whether or not he can do it.
It's the question marks. Does he give a fuck? Is he's injury prone? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So
yeah, it's like all right. Actually, here's a good. Would you take Joe Mixon or Le'Veon Bell? Because there's question marks around him too.
Yeah, I think I go Le'Veon Bell right there.
What? Who?
Just I feel like the Bengals are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and I try to stay. I mean, I know the Jets aren't going to be very good either, but I mean, he's probably going to get 30 touches a game, and they, like I said, they just kind of like added a couple pieces to the line. Maybe in the draft they draft like a good lineman as well to boost it up a little bit
Joe
more.
Mixon or Le'Veon Bell.
Oh yeah. When you started talking about the Bengals, I figured it's Joe Mixon. Joe Namath.
Joe Namath. That's a tough one. Right now, I'd probably go Joe.
He's going way too. I think we all agree he's going.
Right now, I'd probably go Joe Mixon. I got to look at some stats, but I like what Joe Mixon did in his limited action.
Yeah,
he was like the number 3 rusher in like 13 games or something like that.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. I heard he has a sick right arm.
Right hand.
He's got a right hook like no other.
All right, next one. So just a ton of news. I mean, trades. We got
at one point
a lot of players this year switched teams, and I haven't remembered a year where so many players have won from one team to another.
It seems so crazy. But yeah, you posted something like this free agency is more exciting than the entire Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's true.
Truly. So next thing we're going to talk about is Mark Ingram going to the Ravens. No longer in the Alvin Kamara shadow. Bam, out there in Baltimore, running his ass off with fucking Lamar Jackson.
All right, that's not a Breeze.
He's running his ass off with Lamar Jackson. What do you guys think about this, boys? I liked Mark Ingram the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Is there any beers in the fridge?
Yes, there is. Would you like one? I will get you a beer.
Beer me,
what do you guys think?
What did Tyler say at the last episode?
He said,
"Beer me, Blazer."
He said,
beer me, Blazer.
He said it like this. He said, "Beer me, Blazer." I asked what you had any thoughts on the rest of the podcast, and you just looked at me and said, "Beer me, Blazer."
For the Mark Ingram thing to the Ravens, I love it. I mean, like I said, I just talked about it. I feel like when you go out and you get a guy like that, you're pretty much saying, "Hey, we want you, so we were going to incorporate you in the offense." We saw how like Gus Edwards towards the end was getting like 20-something carries. He was getting like 100 yards, or like a touchdown every game. Yeah, I'll take it.
Bro, these are fucking stretched.
Yeah,
stretch limo lights.
I mean, this is obviously going to be a run-heavy offense, and it's just like a ground and pound, like straight up the gut type of style. Nothing fancy, and I feel like this is a good fit for him. I love Mark Ingram. I think he's going to be solid. A solid RB2 with RB1 upside each and every single week. I mean, they do have Dixon and Gus Edwards there, but I think if you were comfortable with those guys, then you wouldn't went out and invested in getting Mark Ingram.
So what does Mark Ingram do that Gus Edwards can't?
He's just better.
What else?
He's just better.
He can catch the ball.
He can catch the ball.
That's what I was
true.
trying to
That
get
is
at.
true. I didn't even think that is true.
So the Ravens were
did
actually
Edwards even have a catch?
the Edwards.
The Edwards.
The Edwards. I don't know actually. He might have like 4 or 5. Yeah, I think Ingram's gonna low key end up being a value. Let's see where he's at right now in ADP.
Hopefully he gets back on the juice.
I'm with it, bro.
He's on the
Bro,
sauce.
he did so good like 2 years ago, and then
Right now he's at the 502, but I think it's just starting to move up. If he's at the 5th round, I would love to get.
I
Mark
feel
Ingram
like the
in the 5th
past
round.
3
He's
years
like he should be like in the 3rd round. I think that's where I'd probably put him over there.
Yeah, so if we're talking grades, like I've been doing right now, I'd give him. It's solid 3rd. Like I have to figure out what like dig into it deeper what his upside and low side could be, but it'd be a solid 3rd round pick, like solid 3rd. Like if you get Ingram in the 3rd, I think you're getting running back value for sure.
I mean, I think he finishes like top 15 running back easy. I mean, he's probably got, like I said,
The Ravens were number 1 in rushing last year attempts.
Yeah,
I think that skewed a little bit because Lamar Jackson ran a lot.
yeah,
And Seattle probably was technically number 1, but they were number 2. I don't see much changing.
yeah.
I don't think you're going to see Lamar Jackson throwing back more than Drew Brees. I don't think you're going to see Lamar Jackson dropping back like 30 times. Well, actually, I said it now, so now he probably is. Because I said that about Andrew Luck, but I don't think you're going to see Lamar dropping back and throwing. You see a lot of running game. And what do they have in that team? They have a good defense. They have a defensive-minded coach. So what does defense lead to? It leads to more like tight games. Leads to ground and pound. What's grinding this game out? What's rush the ball a lot. And Mark Ingram can catch. That's that's a plus. We've seen him get 55 catches. That not necessarily saying that. That's one thing I've learned. It's like you can't take. Oh, he caught the ball 55 times in New Orleans. He's going to catch the ball 55 times in Baltimore. No, you can't take that.
Lamar Jackson's
Yeah,
there.
but you can take the fact that he is a skilled position player that can catch the ball.
Right.
And he's capable of catching it. So now we can say, okay, he can catch the ball up to 60 times because he's a good receiving back. So now he might catch it 30 times, but at least you have that in the arsenal of Mark Ingram.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus where
It's in
some of
the
these
wheelhouse.
backs there, they don't have that in the arsenal.
He could be like a true 3-down back.
Yes, exactly. So he's the true 3-down back, which they haven't had in a long
Ray
time.
Rice.
Yeah,
probably.
Ray Rice. And that's still when Harbaugh was the was the coach. So I'm looking at Gus Edwards catching.
Yeah, I don't think he might have had a catch, if that. I don't even know if he did.
2.
2.
In 6 games, 11 games, 6 games started, he had 2 catches. So I mean,
That's not good.
Yeah, that's
what
not
you don't
that's
want.
not nice. So you put the rushing attempts. I mean, Mark Ingram could be a value, low key.
Yeah, I am not mad at it.
Yeah,
I feel
5th round. I think he jumps from the 5th round.
This is what I was about
If
to
I can
say.
get him in the 4th, I'd be ecstatic with that. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, dude, fuck my opinion, dude.
Go ahead,
no,
Mike.
no, I was just saying, like, I feel like every year, the past like 3 years, you just get value with the suspension, and you just been able to get Mark Ingram at a value, and his ADP being at 5 in the 5th round this year, it looks like it's going to be happening again.
Yeah.
People are kind of going to write him off, and you might be able to sneak and get a pretty decent running back.
Yeah.
Once again, not mad at it.
I think it's just the position offers so much volume. It'd be like, I'm trying to think of an opposite scenario. It'd be like if Devontae Adams left Green Bay, right? And he threw another talented receiver in there. There's so much value and volume and opportunity that guys might not be Devontae Adams,
Could be
but he's going to still
Devontae
produce.
Parker or something,
Yeah.
like say like Devontae
Because there's
Parker.
just so much volume there, and then the team is coached well. The system isn't in place to where it's, I'm actually thinking back right now as I retrace it. The Baltimore position at the running back has had low key like good. Danny Wood had put up stats a few years ago.
Yeah.
You said Ray Rice. Kenneth Dixon for like 4 or 5 games and the stretch put up good games.
Gus Edwards even
Gus
a couple
Edwards,
games here
Alex
and there.
Collins last year won people championships.
Yeah.
So that position, now that I'm actually like reflecting on it, has had a lot of value, and I think we've just never had consistency as the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really touched on that. I just don't think we've had consistency with it. It's almost like the New England situation where, like, when you look into it deeper,
You like want somebody's gonna be putting up numbers in New England, but you don't know who the fuck it's gonna be. It's like
Yeah.
every year. That's like your brother. He drafted every Patriots running back, and he was like, I was like, honestly, dude, that's kind of a bold strategy, but I like it because one of those motherfuckers is gonna work out.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, there's numbers there and there's points there, but like until you look into it deeper, it's like this is a top, 5 rushing offense.
Yeah.
And there's value there, and it's gonna be there. And if they pay Mark Ingram and they give him that workload, I think he could be. If he's an RB2 and he gets you 15 to 20 carries with receptions, I mean, you cannot ask for, more out of your RB2.
Yeah. I mean, he's most likely would be your RB2 unless you went like, I don't know, receiver,
Tight end
quarterback,
or,
tight,
yeah,
something crazy like that. Most likely he's going to be your second
And he
running
could
back.
still be a 1, though.
And he could low key be a 1. I mean, I think if he sees, around 20 touches a game.
The Ravens ran the ball over 30-something times a game.
Yeah, I think that he, the upside is through the roof. So, on to the next subject. So Ingram leaves the Saints. They replace him with Latavius Murray. So it's no longer the Ingram and Kamara show. It's the Latavius Murray and Kamara show.
Latavius.
So I mean, like Ingram had a little bit of value when he was there. Do you think now he kind of just fills in, and now Latavius kind of has some value here, or do you think it's going to be mainly the Kamara show with a little bit of Latavius?
Mike, speak up.
I was gonna say probably the second, if I had to guess. I think it's mostly gonna be Alvin Kamara. I think Latavius Murray. Yeah. I mean, like, what do you think is a better running back, Latavius Murray or Mark Ingram? I think that's what it amounts to.
Yeah.
And are they going to use what's his name, that other quarterback? Are they going to run that motherfucker around?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Ingram he can catch. Latavius is not a receiver.
Yeah.
I think he's had probably 20 receptions in 4 years.
I think maybe he might vulture some touchdowns from Kamara, but I don't think it's going to be enough to want me to have him on the team. Would you like handcuff with Latavius Murray? Like if
that's the thing is with Latavius, you have a built-in handcuff. So if you take him and you want to take him in like the 12th, 13th round, like something like whatever, like you have like let's just say week 1 Alvin Kamara, or fuck it, even if you're drafting like in the like people draft like the first week, like of like preseason, like take Latavius. Like let's just say he's undrafted, take him, because he has an upside. If let's just say week 3 Kamara tears his ACL in preseason. Like, because
don't you put that on him, Ricky Bobby?
I know I love Kamara. So
and you have him in a keeper league, don't you?
Nah, not this year, but I had him. But let's just say he tears his ACL. Like Latavius has like built-in like Saints RB1 upside in him. Yeah. So you have that like, and if you're in a deep bench league like we play in the FFPC where you have like 10 people on your bench, like draft him, because if something would happen to Kamara, you have a solid RB1 like built into that. But as far as that goes, I'm thinking more of they had Ingram there for 2 years. They've kind of held Kamara down. He did show that he could handle the workload for 4 weeks there.
Yeah, he's a monster for those first. I think he was the RB1 for those first 4 weeks.
Here's the thing, too, from the Saints is how many years does Drew Brees have left, realistically? Maybe 3, 4, 2. We don't know. I mean, you got to get the most out of that team while you can. I think they possibly start to unleash Kamara and use him as a workhorse.
Yeah.
Because in 2 years, 3 years, I mean, what are you gonna have to pay him? And that's another situation. It might be a Le'Veon Bell situation or another situation. He might want 50, 60, 70 million, and they might be like, well, have we seen the Saints pay people like that? Not really.
I mean, it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to pay him and Michael Thomas. So, and that's going to be a big chunk.
And if Drew Brees is still
you're looking at like, 30, 40 million guaranteed for him, and then maybe like 50 to 60 million for Michael Thomas potentially. So,
and if Drew Brees is still there, you're still paying him.
You're still paying him too, yeah.
So it's like, do we just now unleash this guy and run him into the ground for the next 2-3 years? I mean, I think it's a realistic possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gets a little bit of run, but like I agree with you. I think it's going to be the Super Camario show going forward right there.
Yeah,
I think you see Jamal Charles in the Saints uniform.
Ooh.
Hot take by Anthony Ravelis. Balls. I'm gonna get a thing that drops and it says balls.
You've been saying that forever.
You're right. You're not
anyways.
Wait, so what do you have right now, like preseason Kamara ranked right now?
I mean, he's probably in the first round. I probably have to.
No, like RB wise, like where is he at with you?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'd have to really look at it. He'd probably be like top. Excuse me. At least like top 7, 8 around there. Probably. I can't even think off the top of my head.
So Saquon, Zeke, Christian, Melvin, Gurley, or like the other ones.
Yeah, I might have him ahead of Gurley. I'm just kind of worried with Gurley with the whole knee thing. And then if they do resign C.J. Anderson, then that kind of like will throw up like a red flag for me. Kind of like, okay, well, they're obviously keeping him for a reason, you
I
know.
think everybody's scared to take Todd Gurley this next year.
But
I know. I wonder if he slips into like
If he slips in the second round, I have to pick him up.
that offense is too nasty. You have to.
I can't
Yeah.
not do it.
I think right now Kamara is my. It sounds a little crazy, but he's my 3 right now.
What?
I mean, I'm
Crazy.
not-
It
yeah,
doesn't
I
sound a
can't
little crazy,
disagree
but
with
like
that.
he's my 3 right now.
Saquon, Zeke.
Zeke,
Kamara.
Saquon. Actually, I flip flop that. It's early, so it flip flops a lot.
yeah. So yeah,
I think because Odell takes the ceiling off of the scoring potential, and I think that the Cowboys are going to. I think it's a better scoring offense, and I think the volume's relatively the same.
Yeah.
And they get those the lineman back too, who had that weird disease.
Sickle cell.
Yeah, no, that lineman. Remember he had like that weird disease. He didn't play last year.
the center.
Cancer.
That's
did he have that weird?
The weird disease, cancer.
Yeah, that
It's pretty normal.
Chlamydia. I heard it's running rampant.
It's running rampant.
it is running rampant, dude.
No, he had like that muscle like fatigue thing or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, muscle like dysmorphia or something. Where like your muscle starts to
yeah,
deteriorate.
they get him back,
Okay.
and they get another. One of the other guys got injured too, so they have 2 linemen back. So
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
Muscle go bye-bye
yeah,
disease.
muscle
Yeah.
disease basically.
Sick.
All right,
So another interesting signing here. You got Devin Funchess. He's going to sign with the Andrew Luck throws 50 times a game Colts.
no, he does.
This could be a sneaky late round value, I think,
Yeah.
here. I mean, he's a big body receiver. He could just be like, I mean, like we saw where Moncrief kind of like a couple years back with the Colts. You know, he was just kind of like a touchdown machine. He'd get you like 4 or 5 catches, 50 yards and a touchdown every
I
game.
had him in a league, and it was literally like he was my wide receiver too. That's the league I had. That year I had like Leveon, McCoy, and I was killing everybody. But like he was my 2, and that was
Yeah.
another reason why I was killing everybody is because like he was scoring every fucking week.
Yeah.
And it was like I had whoever my wide receiver 1 was, and then Moncrief or not Moncrief. But yeah, Moncrief was a 2. He would put up a touchdown every week, so he'd give me 15 in my 2 position.
Yeah. I think, you know, like we saw, what's his name? Ebron get like 14, 15 touchdowns, something crazy like that. I think you see a little regression there, and some of those maybe go to Funches now because he's pretty much like an Ebron. You know, he was a tight end in college, but then he transitioned to a receiver. Ebron's pretty much just an oversized wide receiver who plays tight end. I like Funch's sneaky late round value, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they're going to throw the ball 50 times. Like we saw how Andrew Luck came back. He looked good. You know, that line, they've just been drafting an offensive lineman every year in the first round, and it paid off. I think he had a stretch of like 8 games where he didn't get sacked or something.
Yeah, it was something stupid like that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, the guy who was going to doubt me."
So are you guys
Yeah.
drafting bunches of Funches?
Yeah, I'll take a shot at him.
Yeah.
I think Funches is that guy to where it's like take a shot at him because the Colts wide receiver 2 has always had value if it's a solid. When Luck's been there, so it's hard to. But there's been value there when Luck is the quarterback. You saw some of these other guys. You know, who were some of the names last year? It was I can't remember the other two.
Ebron, I mean, just
Well,
absolutely.
Ebron, yeah, but
destroyed
the
it.
receiver position too. Like some of those guys are putting up numbers.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, he was putting up numbers at the Colts.
I mean, I think it would look at
I
this,
mean, Ryan Grant and Chester Rogers had some weeks where they were putting up, some decent numbers.
Yeah.
And these are just average Joes,
Yeah.
average bros. So I think Funches is gonna have he'll have some value.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what I
you're
know,
not
huh?
drafting Funches to be your 1. You're probably not even drafting him to be your 2, but like a guy who could be your flex guy who could get you like, 40, 50 yards and like the touchdown upside each and every week. I think that's
Standard
decent.
league, you take him with like one of your last picks, and if he ends up being like a touchdown machine, you get a nice standard
Yeah.
pick.
If you're in like a three wide
three,
receiver
man.
league or like a double or multiple flex league, you draft him. He could be like, a guy you throw in there each and every week, consistently.
Yeah.
Next one right here, we got the big dick Nick to the Jets. Not to the
Wait,
Jets, to the Jags.
Yeah.
I was like, to the Jets?
Big dick Nick signs with the Jags. They released Blake Bortles. He actually signed with the Rams today. He's going to back up Jared Goff.
Because it go to the Super
Bro, I've
Bowl
seen
for
people
them?
commenting on that trade saying that Blake Bortles is going to take Jared Goff's job. But I was like, what?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't just like one random. There was like a lot of people that were saying that. I was like, it's like Blake over is greater than Goff. I was like, what the fuck? What are you guys talking about?
My theory is this. I feel like they signed him What's the coach name?
mean-
Sean McVay.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like a genius, so he's gonna like put Bortles in a situation where like he balls out, and then he's now going to trade Bortles for like a good draft pick to a team who needs a starting quarterback. You know, like he'll probably get like a second or third round pick for him,
Right.
and then like Bortles will go to that team
it's
and
not
suck.
crazy though. Like you think about it, like look what Jared Goff did his rookie year. Terrible. McVay came over. I mean, Bortles' numbers were actually probably better in his first year
Yeah.
than
that-
Jared Goff was.
That's what the Patriots do.
Bortles
make
just strikes me as a
plays
guy
look
where he
good.
doesn't give a fuck about football. He's just doing it for the money in a sense. So
Yeah, he's definitely a bro. But okay, but back to Big Dick Nick. That's pretty sweet, I guess. Good for him getting some money. Tail end.
you think he's got any fantasy value there, or you think it's just kind of like news for the
I
league?
think he's a
no.
streamer.
I think Jaguars had one good year, and it was. Yeah, I just don't think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And I think
I don't
they're
know
on
if
the
they know.
down
Yeah, maybe a
grade.
streamer, like you said, if we
Streamer, week to week.
here, maybe
Playing
if
the
it's a
Colts
good
possibly,
matchup or something like that.
you know,
Yeah,
someone new.
Yeah, I'm good
I
on
think
that.
there it's like you got to see if there's some chemistry with any of the receivers. I mean, D.D. Westbrook, it's his third year. You know, he had some big target games. He is out of the slot. You know, we got to look into Nick Foles' trends. Like, who does he target? Who does he like to throw to? What style of receiver does he like to throw to? Someone who's big-bodied, someone who's like. There's trends we got to try and look into and try and get inside his head.
yeah,
At least that's what I'm doing. We don't have to do it, but
yeah.
we can. But that's what I'm going to do is look into like, okay, what is his tendencies? What is he as a human being from like a psychological standpoint? Like, does he like, oh, I like to throw to like the slot, or he throws to this, and I'm gonna try and get into that as much as I can and see what we can find out. You know, you do have Dede there, who's like I said, his third year. Keelan Cole had some potential. You have, you know, DJ Chark, who was a rookie last year but drafted pretty high. So there could be receiver value there. You know, he did put up some good numbers in Philly, but it was a good system too. So. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of a wait and see with him. We don't know yet. A lot of stuff to look into with that.
I'm good on it.
Yeah, I'll probably pass. But maybe, like you said, if the week-to-week streamer, maybe potentially.
Yeah, I'm talking more
Take a
about
chance
receiver
on it.
positions.
Yeah,
than-
for
than,
sure.
Big Dick.
So, some breaking news in South Beach. Bam, bam.
Well, fuck the Mayweathers.
Fuck the Mayweathers.
Bringing my fucking talents to South Beach. I just went Jamaican.
What in the fook was that?
What in the fuck?
Got a little bit of Fitz magic down in Miami.
I'm gonna-
Dolphins have signed Ryan
want-
Fitzpatrick.
I went Fitz making.
Fitz making nice.
Fitz making, man.
Signs with the Dolphins.
Anthony's making himself laugh way too hard right now.
I'm watching myself on Twitch, entertaining myself live.
God damn it! All right,
I just seen something that they were saying that Fitzpatrick's about to be the best quarterback for the first 3 weeks, and then
And then
so do you draft him for the first 3 weeks or what?
no, I'm not
for those
drafting
Dude, he
500
Fitzmagic.
yard
he fucks.
games.
Yeah, I'm not drafting Fitzmagic here.
Yeah,
but
I'm
what I
not
actually
too.
do like here, and I kind of touched on it on IG, is we signed Devontae Parker to 2 more years, and he's the former first round pick. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy and stay on the field. Maybe finally he stays healthy, and we've seen Fitzpatrick support some good receivers. When he's with the Jets, you had Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall have some big years. I mean, even last year when the Fitzmagic trend was going on, you had Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson having some pretty big games here. So I mean, he's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to throw it up. I mean, because we've seen him throw 4 or 5 interceptions in a game because he's just gunslinging it. So I think if there's a potential for Devontae Parker to break out finally, Fitzmagic is the guy to kind of help him do that. So I'm kind of interested to see if Devontae Parker can just stay healthy, the upside that he could have potentially.
I think I agree with you when you said. I think you said it the other day. We were like in the car or something. You were talking about you're more excited for Ryan Fitzpatrick football wise as a Miami fan than you are fantasy wise.
Yeah.
200%.
Yeah. But then I think that I kind of would agree too. Be
I
interesting.
mean, what do you do? Because you're a Dolphins fan as well. Do you think this kind of helps
Am I?
Devontae Parker?
I
you think-
don't think it could hurt him. I mean, I think. All right, production-wise, Tannehill versus Fitzpatrick. I think
I'd rather have him than fucking Brock Osweiler.
Oh,
They were talking about
yeah.
getting Mike Glennon or Blake Bortles.
we just don't. There's a lot of we don't know what the coaching staff is going to do yet, too. So there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Everyone presumes Miami is going to be dead last in the league, which is, I hope so. I hope so. But you never know. I mean, we thought like 2 years ago the Jets were going to be the worst team in the league, and they were like 7-9, and they had some players. Robbie Anderson was like a top 15 receiver.
Yeah.
So there's examples of that. With this situation, Fitzpatrick, he can pull some Fitz magic. You know, he could basically say, "Fuck the Mayweathers. I'm from Jamaica." Fucking throw it out. This is Fitzpatrick in Miami, so he's different. There can be some value there. You know, Albert Wilson too is another name too, but we got to look at because he was putting up some numbers in a short time with low targets.
Yeah.
Which hypothetically, if he wants to hyper target Albert Wilson, you know, he was doing a lot of damage with low targets. So there's that. I think there's going to be a receiver in Miami that has some value if they can stay healthy, because it seems like no receiver can stay healthy out there besides Landry. And you have Fitzpatrick and the new coaching regimen, and maybe it's ran similar to the New England system where it's, hey, Fitzpatrick, we don't need you to chuck the ball up in the middle of 5 players. Like, we're going to run the system so you are highly effective, and it might work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a really unknown system. It's really unknown right now. We don't know what's going to happen there.
We have to pay attention in the preseason to kind of see how things are going.
Like I said, deep bench, take flyers on some of those receivers late.
Yeah.
Albert Wilson was explosive. You know, Devontae Parker, another guy, take a flyer late. Kind of beat the waiver wire type of situation, maybe a last round pick.
You know what, dude? I couldn't have said it better myself. Way to go.
Hey.
We got Deshaun Jackson traded back to his original team in Philadelphia Eagles. That was really loud.
Yeah, I saw a spike.
I know, right? So do you think this is good for Deshaun Jackson's value, or do you think this is kind of like how do you feel about Wentz? Because now you got Ertz, you got Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, and Alshon Jeffrey. So you think Wentz can come back, and he's like a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah, easily he's a top 10 in my eyes.
Yeah, you know what? Did you know him and Andy Dalton are cousins? Carson Wentz. Not Deshaun Jackson.
That's what I thought you were talking about. That's why I was quiet.
No, I'm telling you, Carson Wentz and Andy Dalton.
I thought Deshaun Jackson and Andy Dalton were cousins.
Yeah, they look alike, but they're not cousins. No. To be honest, I don't know how I feel about Deshaun
What were we
Jackson.
talking about that night? What was the movie we watched with the redhead?
I don't know.
Oh, it was Venom. We came out. This is off topic, but whatever. There's going to be carnage. There's going to be interceptions.
Why did we say
Because I
redhead?
I was like, every time I see someone with red hair, I call him fucking Andy Dalton. It
Yeah,
doesn't
remember
matter.
we saw like that baby, like a little kid, and we are like, dude, is that Andy? We were driving, we seen like a 5-year-old kid walking across the street. Like, bro, you see that? It's crazy. It's Andy Dalton. Dog.
Every
Just because he had red hair.
Dude, me and Minnie always, every redhead we ever see, we're like, is that Andy Dalton? We're like 80 years old.
Yeah, but what was going on with at the movie though? What was happening? In the
It was
movie?
carnage because he had the red hair.
Oh.
Yeah, and it
He's
was
like,
like, there's going to be carnage. And then you're like, there's going to be interceptions.
Because I think.
Because he looked like Andy Dalton because he had red hair.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
So now that we're back,
Deshaun.
let's get back. We're talking about Deshaun Jackson, not Andy Dalton, not Carson Wentz.
Or no
Fucking
interceptions.
Mike, dude. But yeah, I'm indifferent on this one.
There might not be enough targets to go around for him. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was getting
Alshon
at.
Jeffrey, you got Zach Ertz. I mean, he does offer the
you think
home run threat of all it takes is one catch. You know, like he 60-yard bomb. You know, because he's got that Tyreek Hill kind of speed. So, like he's kind of the Devontae Parker way. You want to take a flyer on him later in the rounds. I mean, probably something like that.
I think you do the Andre method.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a joke out of this, but I'm gonna make it serious at the same time. So I think what you do is you draft Deshaun Jackson, and if possibly and when, or he does explode for the first 3 weeks, you trade the shit out of him for the fucking value.
Yeah.
And it sounds stupid because it's like I'm joking because that's what Andre did.
Yeah.
But like realistically, Deshaun Jackson still has that deep speed threat. He is the unknown kind of weapon in the offense. You know, he might go out there and get, 2-3 games to explode. And I was like, oh, Deshaun Jackson, he's back in Philly. You get the guy who buys into 2 weeks, Debo. And you just, You trade Deshaun after 2 weeks when he has these massive, like 100-yard game, 4 catches, 100-yard game, another 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Trade him. I think that's why you take a flyer on him, because there is that deep speed upside threat. And if it hits,
yeah.
trade him, literally.
For sure.
Dude, did you burp just now?
No. Yes, I did. I burped.
Someone asked a
All
question.
right, that's my advice on that.
What'd they ask?
They asked, it has nothing to do with fantasy football.
Whatever, fucking ask it. Let's do it.
They said, if you were in the opposite gender for 1 year, what would the first thing you do? What would be the first thing you do? I don't know why you would have to be
1 year?
for a year.
Like,
Like,
1 second, I'd fucking shove this wine bottle in myself if I was the opposite gender.
bro, you can do. Hey, listen, dude.
You don't need a year. I just need a second.
You want to estancia yourself?
Me and Estanzi are going deep.
Bro, here's the thing, dog. Is you could do that right now. You could put that inside. You don't have to change genders, dog. You could 100% do that right now.
Oh my god! All right,
I don't think I'd want to be the opposite gender for a full year, but
But I don't understand that question, because it says, if you were the opposite gender for an entire year, what would the first thing you do? Why are you even talking about being a gender for an entire year?
yeah, we need this is like a full year like extrapolation. Like, what are we doing for a year that we're starting now?
Yeah, I don't. But like, that has no relation to like what's the first thing you would do. You'd be like, hey, if you switch genders for like a day, like what's the difference between a day and a year? Why is it a year?
I think every guy's answer is like, I'm shoving something in myself.
Nah.
No, it's not that.
I don't think
Maybe me.
Nah.
Anyways, all right.
You're like,
Adam Humphries signs with the Titans.
Sure.
Anyways, sorry. Yeah, so Adam Humphries signs with the Titans. I'm not sure there's gonna be too much value there with Mariota. The thing that I want to touch on actually is, so the Bucks are they traded Deshaun Jackson, and Adam Humphries signs with the Titans. So does this boost OJ Howard's and Chris Godwin's value? Because when we talk, Godwin was kind of like a touchdown machine last year. It seemed like he was catching a touchdown every single game, and then OJ Howard was having a breakout year until he got hurt. You think with those two guys gone, all those targets opening up, these two guys kind of step up and have some good value?
I think what it does is it raises Mike Evans' ceiling. And I think you might see Mike Evans get back into that 160 range, which we haven't seen in a while. It's been since 2016 where he saw 172. He was the number one in 2016, right? I think wide receiver wise.
He was up there for
He was like top 3. And then it was 146 before that. But we've seen in the last 2017, 136, 2018, 138. I think losing Humphries and Deshaun, I mean, there's not talent filling in is the thing. It's like, yeah, there's receivers there, but there's not talent filling in. You're losing Humphries, you're losing Deshaun. I think we do have a 2 receiver situation in Tampa Bay. Like I said, you've seen, I said the Lions. There's other teams where nowadays in the NFL you can have 2 receivers who are productive. I think Mike Evans gets into the 150, 160. He's like my favorite target in that back end of like all right, I had an early pick. I had a top 4 pick. I need a receiver in that back half. Mike Evans is like my favorite target, to where it's like, I know I'm going to see targets. I know I'm going to see touchdowns. I know some production. I know I'm going to get a true number 1. Yeah. It's like, what's to say? I pick up the 3 and I get Kamara. I come back and with that turn, I'm like, oh, I need a receiver at this point. Most of them are gone. I love Mike Evans at that spot. And that's kind of where he's going.
He could end up leading the league in targets, realistically.
Yeah.
Potentially. So.
We have a new offense, too, with Bruce Arians, so we're unknown.
Yeah, he does like to throw the ball a ton. So,
but they do have chemistry he does have chemistry with Winston, and Winston has chemistry with both OJ Howard and Godwin. And we're looking at a lot of, I don't like looking at missing targets because I think it's stupid, but I think the receiver position.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's stupid. Well, it's like you'll see stats like, oh, there's 200 targets gone. So it's like, no, those targets can go to other receivers or whatever, or other positions too. But Humphries.
It's not like
gone.
you're gonna run all the same exact plays.
Yeah, there's a new coach, a new offense. There's a lot of shit that happens. Yeah, you're not gonna say first and second or whatever is gonna happen.
Like, say your line downgrades, why would you be running the ball as much? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's shit like that.
There's factors that change exactly. Good point. Hey, you're catching on. You're paying attention.
I know football sometimes.
Sometimes.
So you think OJ Howard's top 5 tight end?
I think he has that upside. I mean,
you're looking at Ertz, Kelsey, Kittle. Who else?
George Kittle with the Skittles.
Ebron. I mean, Gronk potentially.
Gronk will probably be drafted there. See, okay, I would take OJ Howard over Gronk.
Did Gronk resign yet?
He's still undecided if he's going to come back or retire.
Would you take OJ or Gronk?
That one's tough right there. It's like it just sounds crazy that you would not pick Gronk because it's fucking Gronk. But I mean, we saw last year how he didn't look the same.
What
He
about
looked
now
slow.
that Odell's gone? Evan Ingram or OJ?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that with Odell being gone. Evan Ingram, yeah, I like it. I like
think
Evan
it's a
Ingram
pretty good
last year.
boost. They did sign Golden Tate, right?
It's still but it's
I
still
guess we
Eli
can
Manning
just
throwing.
translate
It's
it
still
into
Eli
both
Manning throwing you the ball. I mean,
Yeah. It gets
I mean, it's 4,000 yards for
out
4
of there,
straight years.
dude. Can
I
you
mean
just
Winston.
fucking go home, dude.
No, I think I'd take OJ Howard over Ingram. We saw OJ Howard just have monster games last year until he got hurt. He was just in. That was with like Humphreys, and that was with
I think OJ
Deshaun
Howard,
Jackson,
here's the
and
thing
even
is-
Brait. All these players there.
I think with Winston and the way Winston throws the ball for potentially 5,000 yards, I think OJ Howard has the next top 4 tight end. OJ, he has the next like George Kittle type of Zach Ertz breakout season. I don't.
He's big, man. I was watching this video. They were showing him like rehabbing.
Do you think
he's
do you
humongous?
think Ingram could have? They're all humongous. Do you think Ingram could have that?
He's humongous.
They're all humongous.
Q, you know what my first.
I did see Evan Ingram when I was at Marquee one day, and he was fucking massive.
Do you think Ingram?
just like a
do you think
different
Ingram
breed.
though can have that
Think he's
big?
got a piece on him or what?
Like his dick is probably the size of that Estancia bottle.
Size of the
Sounds sick.
statue at Chaos or what?
Probably. It's like it's 400-foot statue and the dick's this big.
You just for the Ingram and OJ comparison, it just comes down to maybe like what quarterback you think has a better upside and
That's,
more.
yeah, I was
yards.
like, who do you think can bring them to the top 3 potential?
I'd say Winston. I think Eli's on the down. Winston potentially isn't even in his prime in a sense. If he can get there.
Yeah,
And with Arians, who's like
he
a
might just have
vertical.
the coach who didn't like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
just
think
thought
I'd
that
go
was interesting.
OJ.
Yeah,
I'll probably take OJ actually over Evan Ingram.
for sure.
But let's talk about. It's a good transition.
Transition, yeah.
To go talk about. We're talking about Golden Tate going to the Giants. Yeah, you still got third and down syndrome throwing you the ball. Let's see how this ends up.
The thing with this signing, it's like, okay, they traded away Odell. They go out, they get Golden Tate, which is a good signing. But then it's like they have Sterling Shepard. And
That's the guy I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
Like, is it Sterling Shepard or is it Golden Tate?
I've been hearing some rumors that they might be trying to shop him on draft day or,
Sterling?
Shepard, yeah, to get rid of him.
I mean, he's a pretty good talent.
He is a good talent.
I think he could be a solid 2 on any team.
Or maybe they try to move him outside now. They say, hey, like instead of you being the slot, maybe we move Sterling
He's
Shepard
played
to the outside.
too.
So
Odell's got hurt too.
they did re-sign Cody Lattimore, who's like a former, I think it's like second round
Bro,
pick or
that
something
dude
like
tipped me
that.
like $300 one time at Marquee.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
So and he's not bad. He's got the talent. Maybe he's just never been presented with the opportunity. So
He was hammered.
do you like Golden Tate? I mean, we saw when he was with the Lions. It seemed like I was looking at. I did the numbers last year. It was like he was guaranteed 1,000 yards and 90+ receptions like 4 straight years in a row.
Yeah, but like we said,
So-
you can't copy and paste.
Yeah, but then when he went to the Eagles, midway through the year they got traded. He wasn't as consistent. I think he had like 1 or 2 good games. Now that he's on the Giants,
No, it's time to give me another one, Mike.
third and down syndrome. Do you think he's got any type of value here? I mean, you touching
Possibly.
him or?
See, I'm more of like a chemistry thing. It's like, okay, if we're gonna step in the backyard, like maybe you and Mike are the same talent, like hypothetically. But
I
I'm gonna
doubt.
throw the ball.
I highly doubt that.
Jesus, bro, chill.
Like, grab me another beer, Mike. But okay, I have chemistry with you. I know that I can trust you to burn in the guy on the outside. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
I know that if I drop back, you're faster. Your speed is gonna be like. But they do have off-season work together and whatnot.
Dude,
But-
that was the play me and Anthony would when we play football. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna chuck it as far as I can. Go get it." And
Yeah,
he would just
I knew you would outrun the other
chuck
guy.
it up as deep as he could, and I would just run by everybody.
I knew you had to run the guy, so it's like, to what extent is there the chemistry with Sterling Shepard versus Golden Tate? Because I realistically think
We were the Mahomes and Tyreek Hill before Mahomes and Tyreek.
I think they're similar talents, though. I don't think either of them's elite, but I think they're both upper echelon. You look Sterling Shepard in college, he was beating a lot of receivers in press coverage. He was quarterbacks. He's actually a good reception perception, the one I look at a lot, where like they're beating routes.
Yeah.
He's actually graded out very well year after year after year, and I think they are a very similar type of talent. So I think it comes down to talent, and I think for the price, I might take a shot on Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see how that pans out. You know, do they trade Sterling Shepard? Do they move him outside? Do they draft a receiver? You know, maybe they draft like AJ Brown or DK Metcalf. In the first round this year. So that'll be interesting to see. As we go on. But crazy
What's your
signing right
guys'
there.
feel on Metcalf? Because I'm like, I don't
Is
know.
it Metcalf or Metcalf?
I think it's a Metcalf.
I think it's Metcalf.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I know he's being hyped as like the number one receiver possibly, but
I think it just
just a
depends on
quick
the
temperature
scenario. I
gauge.
mean, because we see guys like Corey Davis. He got drafted, first receiver, 5th overall. But it's like you got Mariota throwing you the ball, and it kind of affects him.
Yeah.
And you can't see compared to if he was playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Then he guy would probably be
Depends.
lighting it up.
I think I gotta wait until see.
we'll see where he's drafted because it's hard to say right now.
Before really quick, because I was hyped that maybe that the Steelers might pick up DK with AB being gone, but now we just signed Dante Moncrief. What do you guys think about that? I know you guys didn't throw it on them. Oh, you did. Didn't see it till just now.
Sorry, we're bringing it up right now.
It's a Christmas tree. Wait, is that we're transitioning? Dude,
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. So, like, what do you guys think about Deontay Moncrief? I don't know how to say his name. But
The Moncrief thing for me, it's like I don't know. I think it's just kind of like they're just filling the void. I think it's going to be the Juju show. I mean, because you still have what's his name, James Washington.
Yeah.
He's the guy who potentially has got some
They
upside.
drafted him pretty.
He
early
sounds like a
last year.
president.
He's you got Moncrief in there. He's probably going to get something.
He said James Washington sounds like a president. Well, like George Washington.
The name that intrigues me with the Steelers is Vance McDonald because Jesse James signs with the Lions. So
That's where I'm at.
that kind of opens up right there.
Yeah.
I think Vance.
He kind of proved
Has it-
himself
it's-
last year when he destroyed people's careers.
Oh yeah, he just ended that guy's
fucking-
fucking
Dude,
life.
remember it was like 3 weeks in a row. Like you were just watching him just like body fools, just
Isn't that weird?
slamming him on the ground like a goddamn basketball, dude.
We were watching it Monday night. Remember the interview lady was like, "Yeah, he was watching the Avengers last night, and he was like, I want to be like Thor and just fucking break his face." Remember we were watching that?
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
like, "What?"
We're like he was definitely fucking with you, but okay. I got inspiration from the Avengers, but I just wanted to Hulk smash everyone.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think Vance McDonald is going to be a good value for a tight end pick later on.
Yeah, well, I think you're a solid bet for 700 yards, which for a tight end that's a lot,
Yeah,
and at least 5 to 6 touchdowns, which is you just take that alone, you're looking at a top 8 tight end.
yeah,
So I think we should really evaluate Vance because I think there is some high value there for sure.
for sure.
I think you might even see top. I mean, what's his name used to do back in the day? Heath Miller.
Yeah,
He
Miller.
killed it.
He was like a top 5 I don't know because it was like back in dinosaur days,
Yeah.
which is like 4 years ago. But
But no, he was the top
he
10
was,
at
he
least.
was
He
top
was
10 at
a
least. He might have
startable
even been
tight
top
end for you
5
for
so,
sure. Yeah,
we'll have to look into that because I think Vance is gonna have some real.
And it was the same quarterback too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like
it's not like it's a
era or
different
some shit.
quarterback.
Well, we're just seeing, like, I think, when Jesse James was there, he was getting like 4 or 5 targets, and then Vance was getting like 4 or 5, 6 targets too. So now if Vance gets like,
7,
let's just say 7, 8, maybe 9 targets a game now. I mean, I think the upside is there for sure.
Vance is he's just a bigger, better tight end.
I think Moncrief and James Washington kind of share the load that AB.
Yeah.
I mean, he saw-
and we just re-signed Eli Rogers too.
Yeah, and Eli Rogers.
He
probably
saw
gets
73 targets last year. The position saw 120, but AB had 170 of those. So let's say that hypothetically the position sees.
You're doing exactly what we were
I know.
talking shit about. Earlier.
I know what Tyler. Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh no.
Oh, mumbling.
No, not that.
Oh, I was like, some of
I
my
was saying
words.
about how we were talking about how when targets go away, you're like, oh, that doesn't necessarily mean this, but you're like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
there's 180 targets.
No,
They're
I
gone.
wasn't finishing my sentence. But okay, so let's just say there was 120 targets last year. Those targets had to funnel into an area. Because Big Ben's, we know the offense at this point, so
Yeah.
we know it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So let's just say the position sees 140 hypothetically. 140 hypothetically. If he's the only tight end, you could realistically say he's going to see 90 to 100, which would put him probably in a top 8 tight end, like target wise, with the highest scoring offense potentially with Big Ben. So there's some upside there.
red zone upside, touchdown upside or whatnot. So yeah, I like Vance McDonald. I think he's definitely going to be a value pick going forward. So another news, Amendola signs with the Lions here. They're filling up that Golden Tate void that they left. So I know you're big on Galladay. I think he does have a monster year this year coming up. You think Amendola can kind of, fill that Golden Tate role, PPR wise, maybe be like a solid wide receiver 3 flex guy?
No.
No.
I think there's a talent difference.
When he was with Miami though, he had a stretch of where he was getting you like 5-6 catches, 40, 50, 60 yards each
Miami
game.
also had no one to throw to left.
Yeah.
They didn't have a healthy 16-game Devontae Parker in his prime. That's kind of what Galladay is. It's like he's a Devontae Parker, 16-game type of player, like always healthy, always on the field, always playing.
He is what Devontae Parker be for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you could say that's Devontae Parker's upside is Kenny Galladay.
Yeah.
Because they are similar players.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good one. Okay, shit. I just enlightened myself.
Like, man,
Just enlighten my own self.
I just made a fact.
So you're thinking Amendola is kind of just like the savvy veteran,
think he's more of
possession receiver,
I
like
think he's
the
more
third
of a-
down, move the chains kind of guy, or
I think he's more of a help the team player than he is a fantasy asset.
Yeah.
He's more of a Matthew Stafford bump than he Matthew Stafford bump. He's more of the Matthew Stafford bump than he is like an actual fantasy.
Yeah.
Makes sense, or offensive bump.
yeah.
Like
You still have Marvin Jones there,
Yeah.
and then who knows, maybe they draft a receiver as well.
and there's
But
a new coaching offensive coordinator in there too, so we got to see what happens with that.
for sure. So another breaking news here: Ryan Tannehill was traded to the Titans.
Is it breaking?
They said he was going to be.
That's what I was like, breaking.
Is it breaking news?
Hey, I think it's breaking news.
Well, but it didn't just happen.
Just 7 second.
Whoa, what's saying?
Breaking news is like, oh my God, there's a car wreck. Breaking news.
Oh my God. All right. Well, news: Ryan Tannehill was traded to
Sure.
the Titans.
You think
News
he's taking his?
team. My mom just texted me.
I think they signed him. They signed him to be
That's
the
breaking
backup.
news.
That's breaking news. Breaking news. I'm baked.
Breaking news. Anthony's Tyler from last episode.
Jerusalem,
Lamar Jackson? All right. God damn it, dude. So you think that Ryan Tannehill's going to take
So this is just
Mariota's
my
spot?
opinion. They signed Tannehill to be the backup to Mariota. They signed him to a 1-year deal. I think they signed him for it's almost like a tryout. Like, hey, we're gonna bring you into camp. We're gonna see how you competition. We're not sure how Mariota is. I'm not sure if they signed Mariota to an extension. I know he's coming up on his 5th year, so I'm not sure if they're in the area of where they're like, hey, we either gonna have to sign this guy to an extension and give him a ton of money, or maybe we move on from him. Let's bring Tannehill in and see if maybe he's the guy instead. So I think Mariota's talented, but I don't think people give Tannehill a lot of credit. I know it sounds biased because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I mean, here's a guy who got sacked. I was looking at some numbers the other day. He's been sacked more than any quarterback in his career, in the amount of games he's played, than any quarterback in the NFL. And he still was semi-productive at that.
Here's the weird thing.
And
is
the Titans have a good line,
He's put up better numbers than Mariota has with that line. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's like I said, I'm not trying to be biased, but I hypothetically think he could push Mariota for the starting job.
I think he either takes the job, or halfway through the year he takes the job. He either takes the job in the beginning, in preseason. There's definitely going to be some competition here. And then let's say Mariota comes out and struggles for the first couple games. There's going to be some chatter of hey man, we'll give this kid a chance. You traded for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's say he comes and he does good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I'm excited necessarily for Tannehill for fantasy wise, but I think if Tannehill becomes the
team-wise.
quarterback, I'm excited for Corey Davis.
Yeah, for Corey Davis.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think that Corey Davis has got the potential. We just kind of said it. If he was on the Packers, he'd be through the roof. Kid's got talent. He could play. But I think Mariota just doesn't give him the opportunity or put him in the situation to succeed. I think Tannehill could step in, and all of a sudden now you see Corey Davis become a top 20, top 15 type of receiver here. So I just think that they traded for Tannehill for a reason. Like I said, I'm a big guy. You trade for someone, it means something. You sign someone, it means something. And I think he pushes Mariota for that job.
I wonder if it's more of a saying about his elbow. than anything.
That could be it. Actually, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Why would you trade for a starting caliber quarterback? Dude, you want to get bodied?
I'm sorry. Dude.
What?
I just listening to Anthony try and talk right now. It's so funny. He's like every other word. He's like struggling so hard.
Look at his face.
You're laughing so hard.
Dude, you're red right now. He's so red. Look at his face.
It's so fucking funny. I'm just trying to dude. I'm really trying to hear what you're trying to say. But dude, like every other word you're like, barely getting through the next one. Oh my god, dude. You got it.
Slammed in estancia and two tall
Dude,
boys. This fool's lit.
Estancia.
I'm fucking sober, dude. I'm dying over here, dude.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Fuck. If you're listening to audio, please just go to the YouTube.
Go to the
first.
YouTube.
Please, it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about I'll put this bottle in my pussy. I got it, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. Alright, what are we talking about?
Dude, Mike's making me laugh. I've never seen him laugh so hard in my life.
I'm trying so hard.
He's turning red.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh, but I can't help it, dude. Oh my god.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Oh fuck, dude.
That was one of the hardest I've seen him laugh.
I know. I've never seen him laugh so hard in my life.
I'm just
Estancia.
dude, listening to Anthony. It's making me laugh so hard. All right, what are we talking about here? Dude, I'm getting hot over here, dude.
We're just talking about Tannehill. I think I never thought about the point where you're saying Mariota's elbow. He is having the nerve damage, so maybe it is they're worried about that, and they might be trying to move on, and because like you said, you don't go out and trade for a starting caliber quarterback, to just ride the bench.
Yeah, he is a starting caliber, and he's actually put up really well really well. It's not even English, but he's put up really good numbers. If you look at in depth of what Tannehill's done on a per game basis, I mean we're Dolphins fans, so we see the per game basis he does this, he does that. I mean, it's been Mariota's never thrown for over 3,500 yards.
Yeah.
Tannehill's least thrown for over 4,000 yards, I think twice, right, or once.
Yeah, I remember seeing a stat in the first 4 years, who are the quarterbacks who have thrown the most yards in their first 4 years in the league, and it was Dan Marino, John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, he had 3 years.
And
basically
this is
of
with him.
4,000.
This is with him being sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL too. I mean, the Titans have a better line, so I definitely think I'll be taking a shot on Corey Davis in every single league I'm in, and probably just holding on to him like a lottery ticket. He'll be a guy you can probably play, decently, but if Tannehill takes over, I think the upside jumps up tremendously with Tannehill at quarterback compared to Mariota.
Yeah, he's had 3 years at or about 4,000 yards, 3,913, 4,445, 4208. So he's had years where he's went over 4.
Yeah.
So it's in the arsenal. He's capable of it.
Alright. I probably shouldn't even be in here right now, dude. I can't fucking keep it together.
Anyways, all right. So next one. So Tevin Coleman is leaving the Falcons. He's going to reunite in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan. If it was just Tevin Coleman in San Francisco, I would love this. I think he'd have RB1 upside. But I mean, you still have McKinnon there. There's been some rumors that they might cut him. You still have Matt Breida. They even signed Raheem Mostert to a 3-year deal.
You get Mustard and
Jeff
burritos.
Wilson. I mean, that's probably the most crowded, if not, and probably the most talented running back group in the whole NFL. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, drafting Tevin Coleman wise. We'll have to see kind of more how it plays out. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on this signing?
It's pretty cool.
I hate it.
It's pretty cool to see what's going to happen with Tevin Coleman not on the Falcons, but I'm more interested in what's going on in Atlanta.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman now that he's not going to have to share too much.
Because Tevin Coleman used to just vulture touchdowns and
Devontae Freeman my early values, low-key.
Yeah. I think this is more news for Devontae Freeman than it is for Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of interested in, because Tevin Coleman really was the most frustrating running back if you were a Devontae Freeman owner. Even 3 years ago when he did really well, you had Tevin Coleman just come and snake touchdowns all the time.
Yeah.
Devontae Freeman would run up the entire field, and Tevin Coleman would just run it in.
Yeah.
So annoying.
And Devontae Freeman's a 3-down back. You know, he can run, he can catch, he can pass, all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I think
top one before.
yeah, and I think people are going to sleep on him because you know he was non-existent last year and he got hurt.
he got
He
hurt.
didn't produce.
So
So,
that's gonna make him
you know,
lower.
he might be
He
dead
was-
to people in a sense.
Or he was just kind of like a ghost. Like people, and like
Yeah.
you know, think about
You
people
can get him in
who
the 4th round right now.
think
I
about
think,
people
yeah,
who
it's
played
good value
fantasy
right there.
for their first year last year. They're not going to remember.
Nah. Or if you
they're
drafted
not
him for
gonna
your
know.
first time. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
drafted him for like
Because I had him 3 years ago, and he was awesome. He's killing it. For me.
I drafted him for the first time last year, and I was like, well, I mean, he got fucking hurt. I can't do shit about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that we all agree, kind of the same point. It's too crowded in San Francisco. You got to really figure out what's going on there. They're probably going to make some moves when we'll know,
I,
They'll probably
read
make
somewhere they could cut McKinnon
Yeah,
because the way his contract's
Which is-
structured.
which is crazy.
they just signed him in. And he
Dude,
didn't
I'm not a
play.
McKinnon fan. I just think it's like
He just did good, and
it's like he's one of those spark guys where it's like, oh, his spark scores, but like, what the fuck has he ever done on the NFL field? Like nothing.
Wait, was he the one that you guys got in an argument about him not being a good running back? He's not a good running back. Remember that?
At
You
the
guys were
house.
at your parents' house. You guys were arguing about it. I don't know.
We got a
About
no.
somebody.
It was what was the guy from the Bills to the Patriots?
Gillisley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I was
was
like, it
Gillisley.
wasn't that. I was like, you've never watched him on tape,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
so it was a little bit different.
I
but
thought it was. Jarek
no,
McKinnon.
it was. Wait, who was talking about again?
I thought it was Jarek McKinnon. You guys were talking about.
Tevin
Yeah, it's
Coleman.
like okay, it's like he's never done any production on the field. Is the thing. It's like year after year after year, he's never produced.
Right.
So it's like, I don't give a shit if he's a fucking spark guy. Like yeah, he can jump 40 inches. He's good at track and field, but this isn't fucking track and field. It's the NFL.
Yeah, dude. But But did you hear how far he threw the shot put?
Yeah, exactly. Or he hit someone in the face with a javelin.
Yeah, dude. His discus is out of this world.
his dick's.
Of course,
Bro, you are
like,
so
of course-
far from your mic right now. Dog.
Listeners should be like, "Who's that in the background?"
Is Drew Brees?
Is Drew Brees?
Speaking of running backs, let's talk about our good old boy who also plays kicker on the offseason. Kareem Hunt suspended 8 games. Finally came out. He suspended 8 games. I talked to a lot of people. They're like, he'll never play another day in the NFL. No. He's
Nah,
playing
Ray
for the-
Rice like blasted a bitch, and he almost got back.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, no. He's back. He's in action. He's gonna do some special teams, kick some punts, make some punts, do some stuff like that. But he's suspended 8 games. It's pretty. Even though he's in Cleveland, that's a half the season.
I mean,
I think
yeah.
it doesn't matter where you are. It's half the season.
Yeah, I know that. Fuck.
Even though he's in, pretty sure he could be anywhere.
If he was in Miami, though,
That's
he'd be only
half the
suspended
season.
6 games. It's a tax thing out there.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll try to. I would initially think that he would try to appeal it, but I read something that's saying that he's not going to appeal it. He's just going to take it. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you gotta. You would think that he has to appeal it. Maybe they reduce it to 6 games. Maybe they reduce it to 4
was
games.
it last year or the year before?
Huh?
Like Zeke, where they just like push it back and he's not suspended technically.
Yeah, or even the
God,
Tom Brady.
I just slowed the shit out of that.
Or even the
I
Tom,
even hear it though. It's funny because like now that I'm paying attention to as I talk, I hear it like as I'm slurring.
But even the Tom Brady thing, that they waited a whole year to suspend
Yeah.
him for the Deflategate. But yeah, we'll see. I think this is more news for Chubb. Like now, you could probably just draft Chubb and be excited.
Yeah, now
as
he's
an
like that.
RB1.
Like he's like that Tango boner. It's not a boner yet, but like Chubb's.
What
He's
would
like-
what would
I'm
Kareem-
full Chubb right
What's
now.
what we look up Kareem Hunt's
Butt cream.
ADP? Not
Kareem
his-
Hunt.
I don't even know if he's. I mean, he's definitely gonna get drafted.
Chubb's
you
in
would
the
think,
second
but,
round.
I mean, do you even think he's gonna get drafted? I mean, 8, like you said, 8 games is a lot, and you touched on it like the last episode of the episode for that. Like, are you gonna waste 8 weeks a roster spot for 8 weeks
No,
when you could
no,
be
fuck
potentially
that.
going out and getting a waiver wire pickup? Like,
Nope.
So you're
I
not
mean-
going to draft him at all.
like, what are you drafting for? To handcuff Chubb in a
Week
sense,
10.
or
So here's what someone was like, oh, Nick Chubb or Philip Lindsay, and I was like, Nick. I saw this on another, just like a feed, and I was like Nick Chubb, and I went through like the whole like Nick Chubb was a top 8 running back with the workload, blah blah. You're gonna get at least 8 weeks of full starter Nick Chubb. Like we
full
said,
Chubb for 8?
Full Chubb, dude.
Full Chubb, bro. This
That
this
extends
like chaos,
full
chaos
Chubb.
statue Chubb.
Dude, hell
I
yeah.
mean, and like this is like a mean Chubb. I like that mean Chubb. He's gonna be a mean Chubb for 8 weeks.
Okay, you guys say I talk about dicks, dude. It's supposed to
We haven't.
This would be a mean Chubb for 8 weeks.
a lot of dick on that other side of the room.
All right, so back to Chubb. But you're gonna get that top end like RB. I mean, he could be a top 5 back for 8 weeks, if not more. Here's the thing: if he's playing well, one, do you just think their coaching staff's gonna be like, "Oh, Chubb, we're gonna split the workload because Kareem Hunt's here"? Two, Kareem Hunt, in a sense, won't be playing for over a year. They're not just gonna give him 20 carries as well or 15 carries. Yeah. They're gonna ease him into the offense. You realistically are probably gonna get at least 9 to 10 weeks of Nick Chubb, a full Chubb. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like. If I'm getting that in the second round of getting a top 5 potential back with that value, I'll take it all day. I think he's going to end up being one of my values. He's going to be someone I target if I have a mid-round second pick.
Yeah. I think what they will ultimately do is they'll probably get rid of Duke Johnson at some point, whether it's at the draft or preseason or midway through the season, and then Kareem Hunt just kind of takes over that Duke Johnson role where he's getting maybe 5 to 8 carries and then a couple catches out of the backfield. But then Chubb is like the main guy.
So with the suspension, would you have taken Chubb or Lindsey?
I'm taking Chubb for sure. I like Lindsey as a talent, but I think his ADP is too high. I think a lot of people are forgetting about Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
And he kind of battled a lot of injuries last year. And you got to think, here's a guy. Lindsey's not a big guy, so he's not going to be a guy who's going to get you 300, 350 touches. Royce Freeman's going to get his load. I think Royce Freeman sees more touches this year than he did in his rookie year.
Mike's like Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
Because you're big, bro. You're fucking Jags.
Oh yeah.
You're fucking Jags.
You're fucking.
Does one of us have to be lit every episode?
Yeah, it's a new rule. I'm next, I guess.
You're next.
You're next. Yes, dude. Oh my god.
Anyway, so I'd like Chubb. Or a scenario just off the top of my head, you draft Chubb, he's just killing it, and then you take him and maybe like another receiver or someone like that, and you trade him and you try to get like a Zeke or a Christian McCaffrey or one of these running backs that is like the main 3-down running back. There's no other running back getting the touch.
Yeah, but just say like Saquon gets off to a bad start, you could be like, oh, like first 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I'll trade you Chubb and I don't know, you say Chubb and like Galladay for fucking Saquon or something. I don't know,
scenario like that. You know what I'm saying? Just try to trade him when he's high because when Kareem Hunt comes back, they're obviously probably going to incorporate him in the offense, and then, I don't know. I like Chubb. I think it'll be good.
All right. Well, we talked about guys running the ball, but let's talk about your boy Terrell Williams joining Oakland, joining your boy AB. Do you think? Are you excited for him in Oakland at all? Or are you? I'm kind of with this. I'm looking on the other side. What's going on in LA now, or San Diego, LA? Yeah, LA.
Oakland?
I said it right.
With the Chargers?
Yeah.
I think if we're going to talk about that, I think this kind of opens up the door for Mike Williams.
Yeah,
because
that's what I
Tyrell
meant.
Williams was kind of getting some targets here, and we saw Mike Williams kind of
Went on.
he went on. Touchdown machine.
I like Williams. I like Williams. I like Mike Williams this year. Sorry, I think he has a lot of upside. Good.
I do remember last year we were talking about it, and you're like, oh, he could be really good, but he could bust. Watch, he's going to eat my words, and he's going to be really good.
It's good. He proved himself more and more towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and he's probably for sure going to be a guy who's. I mean, you saw the potential. He's a former first-round pick. I think they took him like 7th overall in the draft. So.
And he showed some big touchdown upside too.
Yeah.
I think he could be a top 24 receiver.
Yeah,
you could see the Keenan Allen in the top 12 and a Mike Williams the top 24.
Yeah, Mike Williams probably be a guy for sure. Because they don't really have it. I mean, I guess getting Hunter Henry back, so they'll take some. Keenan Allen's going to get his. Gordon catches his. Eckler can get some. But the touchdown upside with Mike Williams is just through the roof. It could be one of the best in the league. As far as Tyrell Williams with in Oakland. I mean, they did release Jordy Nelson. I just don't know how much I trust Derek Carr at the end of the day. I mean,
who was talking about picking up Jordy Nelson? Was it? I think the Patriots. They were talking about it.
I saw something where they were saying that he
them?
might come back. He might go back to the Packers.
Oh yeah, that's
for like
cool.
one more year to like retire a Packer.
That's cool.
I can see that.
But as far as Tyrell Williams, I mean, I think he'll have some games where he'll have like some good games, but like on a consistent basis, I'm not sure. I mean, you got AB there and. Like at the end of the day, it just comes down to Derek Carr. I don't trust Derek Carr.
Yeah, Sid from Toy Story is not
How are your boys?
my guy.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So other news, Bills have signed a pair of wide receivers to try to help Josh Allen. You got Cole Beasley, he's going from the Cowboys to the Bills, and then Smokey John Brown, he's going from the Ravens to the Bills.
Did you see what Cole Beasley? Someone said something like, someone tweeted at him, and he said his reply was so funny. He's like, I think it was something about, oh yeah, good luck good luck playing for a team where you're not going to get any production, or said something. He's like, well, I did it in Dallas for 8 years, so he's like kind of hella shitting on Dallas, dude.
He got paid. He got like $20-something million or something like
Yeah.
that. So, did you know that he made a rap album?
Yeah, I showed you it.
Oh, he showed you this.
Pretty
That's
crazy.
funny. I don't necessarily know if either of these guys have any fantasy value. I mean, Josh Allen, we saw his fantasy value as a quarterback be from his legs, not from throwing the ball. So, you don't get points for blocking down the field for your quarterback as he's
That's
scrambling.
John Brown.
Yeah, John Brown, who was on the Ravens last year. I just don't know see how much volume is going to go around. You still got Zay Jones there. You got McCoy in the backfield. You know, how many times is Josh Allen going to draw back and throw the ball? I don't necessarily know if either of these guys are going to have any real
think
value.
that-
They're going to have some games where they have, obviously, but on a consistent basis,
What
I
do you
think these
think
guys
that's-
are kind of like Tyrell Williams, where it's just not enough opportunity, too inconsistent.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about like Cole Beasley? Or what do you think on like the Dallas side? Do you think like this makes Amari Cooper kind of like, does it puts his value up with Cole Beasley being gone, or do you think that they're gonna like draft wide receiver or something?
They
in
could draft a
Dallas?
receiver. I mean, I love Amari Cooper. We saw his talent actually shine through finally in Dallas. They re-signed Tavon Austin to play the slot. You know, he's a former first-round draft pick. He's like a gadget guy, and I just think no one's ever been really able to find out how to use his speed and his talent. But I mean, in college, that guy was electric. You know, that's why he got drafted. You know, I think he was
Electric.
the 10th overall pick when he got
It's electric.
drafted. So he'll probably jump into that slot role right there. I mean, you have Allen Hurns still in Dallas. I mean, but it's at the end of the day, it's the Amari Cooper show.
Allen who?
They
forget about
probably
Michael
thought,
Gallup,
hey,
bro.
we're getting Jason Witten back. We don't need you, Cole Beasley. Get out of here.
Okay, how can we talk about that? Seems like
talking
so
about Michael-
silly. Jason Will. What, you want to talk about Mike Williams?
No, I was saying
Your
Michael
man
Gallup
crush.
could low-key have value.
Yeah, that too. Gallup right
But
there.
Jason Witten, who's 40.
Well, I just like think it's so crazy that he went back. Like he was doing. He was like doing.
He was so good in the booth, that's why.
But I feel like he wasn't that bad there.
I thought he was terrible.
Yeah, he probably wasn't. Yeah, you're right.
He's-
But I'm just saying, it's like it was super. Maybe they really didn't like him, huh? His like, approval rating was bad.
Yeah, I don't know what you.
I feel like it's weird when they go back into the.
I'm not touching Witten.
Yeah, same here. I was about to say same thing. I was
Last
like,
year
I'm
he
not touching
played.
it.
He did pretty good.
I'm not gonna drop. I mean, it's like the same thing as Gates. Almost like the guys had production in the past, but I mean, he's
Yeah, I'm
like a
not-
dinosaur in football years.
I'm not on Witten.
I mean, he'll
NFL's
probably
changing.
have like I said, he'll probably have some decent games, but on a consistent basis, it's
He'll have
not
4
there.
games, but when are you gonna be able to predict him?
Yeah.
Because the target target consistency is gonna be like sporadic. Dude, I fucking.
Consistency.
At least I know what I'm talking about.
You do. It's just so funny.
Like a drunk scientist.
All right, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking. Anything
You ever
else
meet a
guys-
scientist? I met one today.
No, I think that's it right now.
Yeah, you told me. All right.
I was
for
like,
the
I met a
listeners-
scientist in
For
my
the
hood
listeners, Anthony comes walking into the house today, and he says, "Dude, I was talking to the scientist today, and me and Tyler break out laughing. He doesn't understand why. Dude, what the fuck? You just met a scientist. He just came up to you in a white lab coat. I don't understand.
Bro, sometimes you meet scientists.
Yeah, apparently." All right. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on? You think that we missed, or we could speak on a little bit more before we wrap this bad boy up?
No, we'll see. I mean, the draft's coming up soon, so that's obviously going to affect a lot of things. What certain players get drafted, certain places, and just because a college player might have the talent, maybe he might not land in a good situation.
Just like how we've seen Corey
Should we-
Davis.
Yeah, good
Guys
example
like
right there.
that.
Corey
What you
Davis,
guys
so.
feel in the combine? Because I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
We do.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. It's like,
I just like watching the funny shit that happens. Like, remember that one dude whose dick came out after?
oh yeah, that's funny.
He ran
Yeah.
at 40
He's like, "Oh."
and he fell over and his fucking dick came out. Yeah, that's. I mean, like I like when that happens.
It's just funny. Like I saw this thing. It was like DK Metcalf's like numbers, like his 40, like he ran like a 4.3, and like it was like Tom Brady's was like a 5.7 or some shit like that. But then like in the shuttle and all those other drills, like Tom Brady was faster than him.
See,
Yeah.
that's where
But-
it's like it worries me about him because it's like, okay, yeah, he's a big dude, like big receiver, but like I said, they're all fucking big. They all run fast.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I was listening to one guy. He was like, I think it was on like, I think it was on Roto World, and he was like watching his tape, and he's like, dude, you can't ask that guy to do a double move. Like he is like horrendous at a double move. In the NFL too, it's like it's timing.
Yeah.
Certain quarterbacks, certain systems. If he goes to like Aaron Rodgers' system, it's about timing.
Yeah.
And if you can't trust like DJ Metcalf to like run a certain route or in a certain position, you know what the fuck I was saying. Fuck off. Fuck off, Hulk.
I'm not, dude. I didn't.
But like if he runs a rounded route because it's not crisp, like he's gonna throw an interception because Metcalf ran a bad route. So it's like, I don't know. It's like it's that's where it's like I look more on field than college production than I do like fucking track and field.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But he definitely does have the fucking massive upside.
I think he'll be good. I mean, he's fast, straight line speed. So if
Yeah.
you get him in the open field, he's obvious he can outrun people. And I think he's going to be so big that the smaller DBs and the smaller safeties are going to have trouble tackling him because he's going to like Vance McDonald people in a sense, in the open field, So I think if
No,
he
yeah, I
lands in
think
the right.
size
If he
doesn't
lands
matter.
in the right scenario, I think he'll be all right. I'm not worried about how fast he can run around some fucking cones. Like I don't know. I hate
it's about like okay, like how fast can you make a cut and run a double route?
that yeah, but like maybe you have him only run certain routes. Maybe you kind of keep him limited.
The
to,
guy literally said he ran 5 routes all of college.
Yeah,
But if you're
bro, you
that
don't
big
have-
and you're
in
that
college,
fast,
you don't
like
have
on a
to.
straight line,
Yeah, because the guys are fucking. Some of them are like high school athletes,
Yeah,
borderline. You're playing with everyone who's a fucking elite athlete,
in the NFL
elite
Oh,
for sure.
with 2 3s and 1 H.
But my point is that it's not that he can't do those routes. It probably is because he doesn't have to. It's like why
Well,
would you
the guy said when he
why
was
would
like
you
he was watching his
complicate it?
tape and he was like when he had to do double moves, it was horrendous.
yeah, but they're gonna make him do those things or teach him how to do those things better. And even if he doesn't, like the point I was trying to say is like he's just so big and fast and
For
strong
fantasy
that
wise,
like
that's what I'm getting at like with it too.
yeah, like for fantasy wise, it just depends where he lands.
Oh, this would be
that's-
fun because I can tell you guys like him, I don't.
Yeah.
We'll argue
It depends
later.
where he lands. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of the draft, so I've talked to you guys about it, but we're gonna do as long as we all have it off work, or if we maybe a couple of us, we're gonna do a live stream while we watch the NFL draft. If you guys are down, it'd be pretty fun. Kind of like get our reactions to who gets picked first overall, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just the first day, probably not the next couple days after that, because that shit gets boring as fuck.
It's time consuming for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So that's super exciting to. I'm fucking hyped to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like such a nerd when I watch the draft. I'm like, yes.
Wait, isn't the draft in Vegas in 2 years?
Something like that.
Where
Right?
was it last year in Philly? Or no, it was in Dallas.
Dallas or Nashville or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on though? You want to talk about?
Follow us.
Follow us,
Yeah, get
baby.
following. Leave us comments too. We'll answer them.
Follow us. Follow us on
Even if
Twitch
they're weird.
at Average Bros FFP. Follow us on YouTube at Average Bros FFP. Just kidding. I don't think that's what it is. But follow us on Instagram at Average Bros _fantasy football. Twitter at Average Bros FFP. Check us out on YouTube. I think I said that. Give us a rating on iTunes or on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us out big time. Do it, you little idiot, or I'll fight you. I'll punch you right in the mouth. I'll give you a scab just like I give to Anthony right in his little mouth.
Dude, I'll fuck you up in front of everybody.
All right, for sure. I was just kidding. I take it back. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. You made it this far into the podcast. It's a pretty long one. A lot of shit happened. My phone would not stop going off with all this
sorry.
news.
Me and Estancia are cool.
So that's all we got for you guys. Follow us on everything, and I'll love you. We end now. No more podcast for you.
Beer me blazer.
No.
Okay.